What?
We've got a serious leak.
Alright, inspection of the box after one full day of rain. So where's the leak coming from? From the front, but there is the aluminium on there.
Yeah, but it hasn't been sealed. That's a lot of water.
Well, better to find out now than later.
Welcome the newest member to the Outfit family. So big AEG miter saw. This was the flashiest one they had at Bunnings. It was only $550, but it was the biggest, baddest one, had awesome reviews. So Ange and I bought that yesterday, along with a couple other bits and pieces. Spent $85 on a really good blade for aluminium, 80 teeth blade. And now we are cutting the extrusion that goes around our main door frame, which the panel supplier should have done by now, but hasn't been done. So we're just calculating how everything works, cutting things on a 45-degree angle. That was the main reason why I wanted to buy a miter saw, is because it's just so easy to change the direction of the cut, and we can also angle the saw blade that way as well. So it's an epic machine. So far, really happy with it. It was just a breeze to set up. Done the first cut, but the way these cuts are, they take quite a lot of surface away. So we've got to make really sure we've got long enough extrusion, and they've been cut pretty fine. So yeah, there's no room for mistake, no room. So yeah, I've got that cut now, and then I've moved the saw around, and I'll do the other cut.
And the reason as well we're a bit stressed about like cutting like to measurement like that very accurately is this extrusion came all the way from Queensland. We got them as well from Staromax. So it's not something we can just get at the local Bunnings and grab and have more of it. We have to order it the time it arrives. That could delay us for more weeks, and we definitely don't want more delays. We just want to get things done ourselves.
So that piece I just cut for the top of the frame fits really well. Bottom one is cut, so we've got those two pieces there. Now the really important one are the lengths, because we don't have enough for me to stuff this up.
No offcuts.
No offcuts. So we're going to measure it both sides. Hopefully both sides are the same, otherwise we've got another problem on our hands.
Yeah, I guess we know the size of the offcut, but we don't trust it 100%. Always better to double check the measurements.
It's like a yo-yo. Okay, you got an important job.
Yeah, between 189 and 190.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Okay, now we double check if that's the same on that side. Just over 190.
Just over.
Yeah, just over 190. So that's slightly different. But we can fix that really easily by just making this frame the same.
Okay.
Jump on down. Just in that. Awesome.
You do that every time I go in the box. And as you can tell, I'm pretty cold. Winter is coming in Australia, unfortunately. No longer bikini time. So where do I hold?
Very good.
Yeah?
You don't do much. Don't pull up or anything.
Just support it.
Yeah, just support it. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
I was like, geez, that's loud.
Oh shit, well, my knee there.
I was like, oh man.
We're wearing equipment, we promise. All right, look at that cat. Looking sharp. All right, the moment of truth.
Bottom one first.
Wow. Nice. Wow.
It's better than the job he did.
Oh my God.
It's way better than the job he did. Compare that over to his one. Oh no, there's bag over it.
Yeah, we'll show that later.
That's
Wow.
a way better job.
Look at that. Such an accurate cut.
Oh yeah. Happy with that. I need to remeasure.
So what is that piece we just got?
So this is the foot. This goes on the inside and covers up the fact that we've got 40mm panel.
So this is exactly the same
And it's too small.
as what we've got on the hatch over there. The man on the mission.
What we didn't film was about 2 hours of trying to work how these angles sort themselves out. So we are doing right now the longest piece of the trim on the outside of the box for the opposite side. Some's been already done by the previous guy, so we're kind of emulating that, but in opposite. That actually turned out to be a little bit trickier than we thought. But thank goodness we bought that machine yesterday because man, it's so good.
So yeah, yesterday we were working on the door trimming. Today we're working on the aluminium trimming for around the box.
Yeah, mainly because we don't want to take the cover off from around the door right now, their main entranceway, because it just seems to keep raining. The forecast hasn't been correct. So it's so unreliable that the second we take it down, I'm sure it's just going to rain straight into the box. So we're just trying to do what we can do and keep dry. That should have been clamped. That was the mistake I just made. I clamped the piece that didn't require clamping. So easy to stuff these things up.
So what did you just spray on the blade?
Shifty bus. It's like WD-40, I guess. But it's like Nulon's version. It's good stuff. So just spray that on the blade to act as a lubricant and cool it down as it's cutting. Because I want that blade to last for our whole project.
Cool. having a little coffee break. I know why we were so grumpy yesterday. We didn't have a second coffee.
Little bits of aluminium in the coffee, but that's all good. Adds to the flavour. And it's not raining for a change. Brilliant.
So today is a better day.
Yeah, we're actually ripping through these angles now that we've kind of got the mathematics behind it sorted. We're doing well.
Yeah, I think it's, the first one is the hardest, but then making good progress. So yeah, feeling much better today. What is the last job of the day now that the rain has stopped?
Take off the plastic.
Oh, that looks quite satisfying actually.
Yeah, it does.
I might come and help you. All right, what are we doing today, Chrissy Boyd, project manager?
So, today I make the 2 hatches. So we bought this Ozito plunge saw or track saw. Ozito's not a particularly good brand, but it's got really good warranty, and I don't think I'm going to be getting a ton of use out of this thing, so hopefully it'll last. What I need to do is basically trim the 30mm panel so that I can fit the aluminium extrusion in, and actually that will be our hatch, and it will be the same for our door as well. But I need to be able to rebate the hatches, and that's why I'm using this, because it's super accurate. And yeah, I've got to basically cut little strips out of the actual panel.
So we actually realized that we actually didn't have any panels to do testing because we only had 3 panels made of the 30mm thickness. So no testing, you are straight away in the deep blue ocean. But I'm not too involved right now, but it looks like Chris has things under control. All right, so hatch number 1 is done. It's probably the longest part, obviously, because we have to learn. So hatch number 2, in theory, should be faster. So what is step number 1?
So step number 1 is making sure that the hatch that's been cut out is square, because the supplier put the aluminium in already. They're relatively square, which is good. Then I've measured that diameter cutout. Now I come here, I've written the cutout dimensions down, then I'm going to remove 4mm from that. So for instance, say the length is 73.5 centimeters, I'm going to make that 73.1, my actual cutout. That's to make room for 4mm, with 2mm on either side, for the thickness of the extrusion, which is going to go on these hatches. So that gets taken out. I will trim the hatch to size with the plunge saw. Then I will measure 2 centimeters on the inside of the panel on one side. I will set this to 2 centimeter depth of a cut, and I will cut through here all the way around. Then we lift it up and I mark 2 centimeters down. Use a craft knife or a X-Acto knife to chop the square out of it.
And just remove that foam inside here, basically.
It should look like that afterwards. And that gives me my rebate. Then we cut the alloy to size. And when we cut the alloy to size, we add 4mm on to the total length and width to make room again for the extrusion. And then test fit, and Bob's your uncle.
Nice. Gosh, they look good.
They do look good. So
We are back for another morning working on the aluminium.
yeah, so I worked out that the hatches that fit so perfectly fit a little bit too perfectly. So we've pulled all the extrusion off, trimmed both of them, trimmed all the extrusion again, put it back together, and now so I've left a few mil gap. Should have already done that, but yeah.
You live and learn.
Live and learn, exactly. So now we're gluing it back together.
And in case you wonder which glue we're using, this is the one here.
HB Fuller, it's the one the panel supplier uses for everything and swears by it, so we're just going to stick to the same
I'm gonna trust him.
product. So, and he actually gave us those 4 when we left as a bit of a goodwill gesture, I guess.
All right, first one. And I just kind of like using tape just to clamp it. Free to go. So now that the 2 hatches are done, it's time to remove the clamps on the door. So yesterday it was pitch black almost. We did that last minute. We decided to do a little bit more work because we're not very happy with what we had done the whole day. Ta-da! So this is the door frame. So that was supposed to be the easy part. Nah. The hard stuff to come.
Yep.
Making a door. Alright, so while Chris is looking at the door and trying to work out where the hinge is gonna go, where the lock is gonna go, there's a lot of like trying to sort out. We definitely need a second coffee. So we actually changed a little bit of coffee setup for the shed. Usually we use like a French press, but then you have to clean up everything. You have to get gas, you have to get the gas stove. So we actually went to Kmart, bought a kettle. Much easier, can just boil some water and make coffee directly with those little coffee sachet bags that we just got. Let me show you. It's a little sachet like this, which is super handy. But the coffee tasted so good the past days, really happy with it.
Yeah, that was a bloody good coffee the other day.
And that's a cute, and that's a cute little like, it's got like little legs. It looks like a little bit like a spider actually.
Coffee spider.
Coffee spider, should be the new name for it. And then you just put the water inside and just let it drip basically. Today got quite a lot of editing to do, so I'm kind of like set up over there in the corner, and every time Chris needs me, he calls me, or otherwise can just give a hand. And a dash of oat milk. Ready to go. All right, right now we're doing a very important job. We just went to measure the door extrusion just to make sure we've got the right dimension for the door. We're just gonna cut and trim the width and the height so that it fits nicely, and we have to take in consideration how much we should remove as a gap to have the hinge and everything. So we're not 100% sure obviously of the process, but we've done it with a hatch, which helps with the door. Like door obviously is way more important. So yeah, this is where we're at, so wish us luck. First side done.
Got a fiberglass saw.
All right, the width. All right, now the other side
Yeah, now we flip over and measure.
for the rebate for the aluminium extrusion. We've done that before.
We've done this before.
The door is cut, trimmed, aluminium extrusion, cut, trimmed. Everything now should work. We'll do a little test fit in a second. So I was doing a little bit of editing and then I see Chris on the roof and I'm like, what is he up to?
Sealing everything up. Because as you know, we have a lot of leaks. So I'm doing what the guy should have already done. So yeah, I'm becoming a caulking extraordinaire. If that's a thing.
All right, almost the end of the day. Sun is almost gone. Light is almost out. Chris is still doing very well on sealing every single edges of the box. See you tomorrow.
Okay, now grab your end. Yeah. This is how we'll do it.
Okay.
Very carefully coming towards me.
Nice.
Yeah, it doesn't sit flat. So get a hand to the mold.
Final day of work before a new
Right.
rainstorm. So what have you been up to?
Orbital sand up on the roof, sanding all the edges back on every edge, so that when we put the aluminium capping on it, it sits flush. Because before, it was wobbling back and forth, and there'd be too much of a gap underneath for rain to get under, I guess. So that's all nice and smooth now. We go up there with the sausage gun and we're going to put the largest bit of aluminium on. Finally
down.
getting somewhere.
Bit more. Okay, I will stop here. Have a look at the front.
Key holding?
Yeah.
Gun coming down.
Okay. What do you have there?
Transmission jack from the shed, and it's perfect.
Yeah, because it's obviously vertical, it may fall a tiny bit, so that should prevent that.
Yeah, should.
At least that's the goal.
Oh, that looks good.
Starting to take shape. What is the final plan of the day?
Putting these two pieces of alloy on here.
So you probably can't imagine, but right now it's beautiful, it's sunny, it's hot, and just tomorrow it's gonna be pouring down rain again. So hence why we're rushing to get these things done.
Yeah.
So Chris is gonna put the glue on the aluminium and then just gonna put it on the roof.
That's the far one that we're doing. So on your belly.
Don't slide.
And there's glue on it. So carefully does it. You okay?
Yeah.
Push down, like squeeze it down. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, now come to the middle, pushing down. I need you to hold the entire thing up.
And in the
Okay,
middle here.
now can I let go?
Yeah. It's just moved a little bit on that side, I guess, because of the
It's moving
pressure
a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, better. Nice.
Okay, let go.
Final piece of aluminium for the day.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes.
So this one we realized is probably not the best bending job on aluminium. So that's why there's a slight gap on both sides. We'll just have to put a bit more sealant, I guess. Alright, so this wraps up the first week back with the mug and all of the work that we've done. Ta-da!
It heaps. Doesn't look like that much, but it's a lot. Final piece of aluminium we've put on today. Still, the bottom along there needs to be done, but along there.
A beautiful door and hatches. So this is just only temporary for that big thunderstorm that is coming. We've got a lot more work ahead next week, but yeah, it's all temporary. So we hope you like this first episode on the camper. We are stoked to have it back. So
Yeah, that's home right there. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next week.